Well, hey everyone, it's Marcus, and I am chatting again in my jungle room. You're not even going to believe I've got the real deal. She's a freaking icon, stage, theater, uh, everything like TV. I love her. She's adorable. Please, everyone, welcome Lindsey Kraft. Lindsey, hey, how are you?
Ew, that was a really lovely introduction.
Oh,
Thank you.
there's not, okay. I went down a rabbit hole when I found out that you were coming to Adelaide. I obviously knew that you were on Grace and Frankie for 27 episodes, but I went
Okay.
down a rabbit hole and How I Met Your Mother, The Good Doctor, Modern Family, The Big Bang Theory, NCIS, iconic, Two Broke Girls, Grey's Anatomy. I mean, my God, darling Lindsay, the only thing you haven't done is the bloody Simpsons and the Brady Bunch. Where were you?
Oh my God, that's such a nice thing. You forget. Sometimes I'm like, did I have I worked at all? Honestly, like I forget, and it's nice to hear the list of things I've done. Because sometimes those jobs last like a week or a day,
Yeah,
and you just move on.
but you know what? I mean, you like your body of work has been amazing.
Thank you.
But nothing is ever going to top it the way that this show has topped it because I came and saw this show for the Adelaide Fringe, which was a premiere, a world premiere. Lindsey Kraft, we've been here before. 7th of March to the 22nd of March. I saw it on night two at Holden Street Theatres in the Arch. Amazing. I mean, that has just been transformational in every single way for me. And
Wow.
let's talk about it. So, where did the show idea come from?
Um, it really just sort of developed as I was living my life and not a singer-songwriter. I was just a writer and an actor. And I had this piece that I wanted to share about my life and some stories. And so when I was living in Los Angeles, got some girlfriends around and just said, I just want to read this for you. It's like an hour piece. I'd never done anything like that before. I never make people come to a thing that I'm doing. And everyone showed up, and I just read this piece, and it was like 30 pages. It probably took about an hour to read. And I could feel the energy in the room that felt very feminine and also just like that I was maybe touching on something that hadn't been talked about. I don't know why, because everything has been talked about, but it was just sort of this story that I told, and at the end I had a song, but I didn't know how to write. I didn't know how to write songs. This is right before the pandemic. It was like 2019, and I basically did the song at the end of the piece, and one of my girlfriends said it would be great if there were more songs, and I said I don't know how to write songs, and she's like, well, you wrote that one, and that was a song where it's called "You Ruined You for Me," which was like the opening of the second act, essentially, if there was an intermission where I'm upset that I can't listen to my favorite musician's music anymore. And from there, I thought, yeah, maybe I can write more songs. And then sort of life unfolded, and I just kind of kept hearing these songs in my head. I ended up I was cast in a theater piece in Los Angeles where the character needed to play a piece on the piano for the end of the thing, and I was like, I got to learn how to do this. And so randomly at a birthday party, I asked someone if they knew a piano teacher, and they said they hooked me up with this girl Lori, and I ended up dropping out of the play because I booked a TV job. But every time I would go to her place, we were supposed to work on the piece, and I'd be like, wait, I'm hearing this like song. I don't know. I'm just like, it's like, da da da. And it would be kind of like these little, they weren't complex, but they were intricate in their little one hand, like a melody that I heard. And she was like, you're writing songs. I was like, no, they're not. I mean, these are not songs. And she goes, yes, you are. She took my notebook and said, here's your table of contents. You're writing these songs. And then I started to believe it. And then there was the pandemic, and there was time to be at the piano, and not, I wasn't working as an actor. And, things were sort of like, being an actor in Los Angeles is tough. If you're not like someone who's working all the time, and there would be a lull, and it would be like, am I ever going to work again? And I started to just like not care as much. I just wanted to write the songs. And so I was just, I mean, I was at the piano 10, 12 hours a day. That is not even an exaggeration. And I just was just, they were pouring out of me, and the stories were just like coming up of things that had happened to me that in my life, that I was making all these connections to how we are the way that we are because of our family and our friends and our relationships, and starting to discover that maybe I had a voice that was worth sharing.
Lindsey, what was the hardest part of that period? You know, when obviously the world shut down in 2020, what for you was the hardest part?
Um, the hardest part, it's a really good question. I feel like I was almost focused on the good parts for me, like selfishly, because I had this time to just sort of feel like I had nothing to lose because no one was asking for these songs, and I just had this like kind of quiet place to go and write and just sort of not feel like I was wasting time or trying to like hustle or anything like that. But I think the hardest part was the reflection of being in a cycle and not really knowing that I could change the cycle.
Mm. Oh, I totally hear you. And you know what? I remember when I met you after the show a couple of nights ago,
Mhm.
the first things I said to you after the show was, you know, I was like, oh my God, amazing, incredible show, blah, blah, blah. Is it okay if I hug you? It's crazy. That was one of my most difficult parts of the COVID period, that because I'm a hugger, I'm a total hugger,
Me
and
too. I mean,
um,
yeah, the
yeah.
physical contact was tough.
Oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy. And that was my most difficult moment. But now it's actually bred a whole new generation um of like, is it okay to hug you? You know, and it's not because of the COVID thing anymore. It's because of the world that we've now created that is like, I need permission to be able to hug you. You know, it's open
Right.
the
I
door.
know.
It's nuts, bonkers.
I know. I always like to hug people rather than shake their hand because I don't feel like I think actually like shaking someone's hand is so intimate, and I actually really I am a little bit OCD about that, and just like the germs, and I'm doing is thinking about, oh, I gotta wash my hands because I touch my face all the time. But a hug feels like, oh yeah, like this person actually wants to feel connected, and
Mm.
that I'm okay with.
That I can tell you, like, because I mean, so far, we've what, three shows into the Adelaide season right now.
Two, two, two.
Two. Your shows are getting 5-star reviews. We've been here before. So how much of the show have you drawn on from your personal experiences?
A lot. A lot. I mean, there's some ideas and people change and names and some situations have been changed to just make it so that it feels maybe it's not even it just to make it more specific to live to separate myself a little bit so that when I walk on that stage it's a character that I can imagine other actors coming in and playing. And that's where, like, once I've gotten to this phase of writing it, that is something I'm really excited about. That I'm imagining Jessie Buckley playing it. I'm like, I want to see her do it. I want to see what her live is, or Cynthia Erivo. Like, who are, the kind of role that I would be excited to read and be like, I get to do this. Wait, I get to play the piano. I get to talk to these people off stage and go through this journey, and that as an actor, like, I don't feel like I have ever really gotten that opportunity, and partly I think, I've been acting for 25 years or even more at this point, and watched so many friends become stars. Like, they've just watched and like, it's pretty amazing. And I'd always, be like I was never jealous. It wasn't that I was like, oh, that's right for them. But I did start to wonder, like, I wonder when my part's gonna come that's gonna show people who I am. And I learned that I needed to create that because no one was gonna ever know, and I needed to create something that was inside of me that could live on.
Like seriously, Lindsay, I mean, your story that you told of about O and Guitar Hero, I've lived it and I've seen that and I've been there.
Really?
I
Tell me.
Oh my God. Can we? Okay, we're going to do coffee and we're going to chat about that another day.
Yeah.
But we've got time. You're in Adelaide. It's going to be good. But
Yeah.
obviously, as an incredibly professional actress that you are, an incredible actor,
Thank you.
do you find that when you're on stage and you're actually portraying this character that you're giving the audience, can you remove yourself from the emotional baggage maybe that you had when you were living some of these experiences? Can you separate the
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, each time I do it, I'm like healing even more, I think. And it doesn't like, oh God, I have to. No, it's like what I discover something new in the story every time I do a rewrite, every time there's a rehearsal. I'm like, oh my God. And like I say, I missed the line the night you saw it, but at the end of the show, I say the songs knew the truth before I did. I
Mm,
just wasn't listening.
yep.
That has been the truth of the making of this because I had all these songs and I was like, oh, they're really pretty melodies and like they're fun. And then I started to listen to them and I'm like, how I knew the cycles I was in, but I couldn't, you have to be outside of the cycle to see what your patterns are. And so, even the aftermath of all of it, I still was like, I'm still, like healing and understanding. And now I feel, it feels, yes, healing to do it. Like,
There,
I feel like I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's going to feel like. I'm sure at some point it gets into a pattern. Like, but you have, as an actor, um, you have to be able to find that every night,
mm,
and
phenomenal.
make it seem like it's the first time someone's seeing it and the first time you're ever doing it.
Yeah. And you know what? You delivered that in spades. There
Oh,
were
thank
three moments in the show that really impacted me personally. One was when you brought out the record of, Guitar Hero. That was impactful because I'm a massive vinyl fan. So when you brought out that kind of touched my heart a lot. There was the moment that you brought out the bag of lollies, the tubes. But
After the, yeah.
when you came out and so when you momented the connection with your mother and someone that you were talking to, you said, oh, that was my mother. And the person said to you, oh, that's how you speak to your mother? That that punched my heart like you wouldn't even believe.
Wow. Wow.
And I've been there.
Wow. I mean, the writing the musical for me has been so healing for my mother and I
Mm,
and our relationship. And she was why was so curious about the music was because she was hearing the truth in the lyrics. And that's why she was like asking about Madeline and Dottie and Greta, who are, and I don't want to answer it because of shame. And
mm.
so you don't want to share the truth. And the truth is that she never shared her feelings with me growing up. And so this has bridged the gap of that relationship. And it's still not like, it's still hard and it's all the things, but now it's like we can all be like we're at least being truthful.
And Lindsay, I mean, obviously the show is very much about relationships, but the most important relationship that I've actually taken away from this show is about the relationship that you got with yourself.
Yeah.
Am I right?
That's exactly right. And that's what there are moments, I don't know if you picked up on this, but and I'm still figuring it out as an actor in this space. But where I'm talking to the piano, that's me talking to myself. And there are moments where I'm not ready to share with the audience. I don't want to share with O. I don't want to share with Guitar Hero. Don't want to share with my mom.
Mm.
So
Oh,
it's like
I'm
I'm so glad that you picked up on all these things, and also the For Greta record. That was the amazing crew that we had. Like that was like, okay, I want that picture, and then she put it on, and I was like, I want For Greta to be like in this beautiful neon script. Like, did you see the name? Like, what was your thought when you saw that? I'm curious. Like, Did
It
you
was
put it together?
Yeah, it actually hurt. It actually hurt. I felt like every single person in that audience, because that was a good full house.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like everyone in that audience connected with you, and they were, like I said in the review, we were in your lounge room and we were your best friends. And I had not even met you at that point. I had not even hugged you at that point, but I felt
Oh.
like I was your best friends, and you invited me around to your lounge room. The way that you incorporated everyone onto that stage was your lounge room, and the way that you came down into the audience and you spoke to people and you looked people in the eye, but really looked people into the eye.
I mean, I remember the faces from your audience. I remember there was a couple in the front, they had masks on, but and I remember certain uh-huh or a sigh. The woman who I met in the audience, Carrie, who was my friend, she like she was really listening to me when I was telling her about the deep dive of
Mm.
going, and and then I saw people like, and then the young man who I said, "Do you feel like the world just has been a blur of the last year? What has it been like for you?" I could see everyone's faces. I felt like I got to know them. Like I really felt. So what you were feeling was that was the first time I ever really felt that.
Oh, wow. Because,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm not going to say this live, but I mean, you may, but you gave everyone your personal email address at the end of the show. It's like, you know what, I want to hear about your life. I want to know more about you. I want to tell you more about me. This is my email address. Connect with me. Incredible. No one's ever done that before. No one.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it as I had been opening for Ben Folds for the past like 100 and almost 200 shows and across the US, and a lot of people in the US can, like, I mean, anywhere can be a creep. I say don't be a creep, but the stories that I've heard, and especially people who are um, children of addicts and who are addicts themselves, and people who think they're too old to try something new at 50 or 60 or 70. The emails that I have gotten have been so rewarding. It's my favorite part, that I feel like people are just sort of looking in the mirror and seeing what they maybe want to change, or how they want to grow. Um, and sometimes a cycle can be a really good thing too. So you pick up things, and then you pick up things and you come back down, but also you just don't want that circle to be a hole where you just leave it aside. So it's like, I just want it to be like, I want you to spin and spin and spin out into the world.
Lindsay, tell me what you think
Yeah.
about this, because what I've started to notice, because I do a lot of arts and entertainment, it's kind of my gig.
Mhm.
But I've actually started to really notice a pattern now that we're seeing a lot of performers, a lot of artists, a lot of actors, singers, musicians starting to tell their own stories. I feel like arts and entertainment has become a lot more real and a lot more authentic in regards to people's own lives rather than made up lives. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a great thing to do, because I think people are always, I think in the past, my thought process on that was that you needed to be more universal, make it like, oh, so it's for this person, for this person. I'm like, and I realized the more specific I became about my own life, the more universal it became. And that is the biggest lesson to learn, that you don't need to just like, oh, well, people are not going to understand that. Audiences are smart. They get it. You don't need to, there are some lines like the script could be 20 more, has been 20 more pages. And then it's sort of like, no, they get it. I don't need to repeat that. They've gotten it. I don't need to give a whole monologue about my mother. They've gotten it in the song. I'm saying it in the song. So you just have to trust that what you're doing and what you're saying is enough to get across. And also, I think it's awesome for people to, yeah, there's enough really interesting stories of people who are going through whatever they're going through, then there's a need to like make things up to connect with people.
Lindsey Kraft, you are a force and you are touching a
Thank
lot
you.
of people in Adelaide. I promise you,
Oh,
I know that for sure.
thank you. That's
Hey,
so nice.
you touched on a name, Ben Folds, of course. famous from, well, his incredible solo work, but also
Yeah.
it's five, Brick, wow, phenomenal,
Yeah.
set the charts on fire, and everything else afterwards. But how did your relationship with Ben Folds come about? Obviously, because he's the musical director and also a producer, collaborator with yourself. How did that relationship come about?
We just knew each other from LA, and he thought it was interesting what I was doing, and that I was over 40 and writing these songs, and he thought it would be interesting to have me open up for him on tour. And I kept kind of getting better and better, but it still worked. Like when I look back now at what I was doing, I was like, I can't believe I I'm just like so out of time and all these things, but people were just connecting to the story. And we have a similar um outlook on life, and I think our creative spirits are very connected, and so it's just been really easy to collaborate with each other. And so yeah, it's been this really beautiful thing, and it's just kind of fun that he's in the back, like like in the band. And it's not because he's there that people are coming. I just think he's really articulating things in the score that have been in my head and heart that I don't have, 45 years of professional experience that he can just read my mind about. Like I'm sure as an audience there are things that you're feeling, and he is a driving force behind that, like of the orchestration.
Oh, Lindsay, it's like, and I say this with the greatest love and respect, because I'm a massive Ben Folds fan, like massive.
Yeah,
But Ben was so humble and allowed himself just to be in the back. And
yeah,
'cause I walked in, I mean, obviously knowing that Ben Folds was going to be part of the band, um,
yeah,
and thinking that that's where my attention might have been, maybe, because
yeah. Of course, yeah.
and but how you actually drove the attention and drove the energy with your performance, that like seriously, main character action, incredible, bless.
Thank you. You're the best. Thank you for that beautiful review. Thank you for understanding and seeing
Hey,
me.
one more thing, Lindsay. So why Adelaide Fringe for you, and what do you love about Adelaide so much so far?
Everything. Well, we were on tour in Australia, and it sort of felt like, well, this is a great place to just like do it from and feel really free and have this new audience. It was just like the most perfect timing of all the things. And um, uh, Adelaide is, I honestly, it's like my favorite place I've ever been.
Oh my
It
God.
is just so wonderful, and people are just so caring and very good at what they do. Even waiters and people who work at shops, they
Yeah.
care, and they're just smart and like friendly, and I feel like I've kind of gained so many friends already, and I don't normally feel like that I'm able to do that.
And how good is the freaking weather right now, right? It's
Oh my
it's,
God.
it's killer.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. You
Oh my
say
God.
so good?
Okay, so Lindsey Kraft, everyone, we've been here before at the Holden Street Theatres. It kicked off on 7th of March. It's here until the 22nd of March. There's plenty of opportunities to get it, but you need to get onto the tickets really quick, smart, because they are selling crazy, as you can imagine. The reviews have been coming in thick and fast, 5 stars all over the shop. Lindsey Kraft, you are an icon. You're a darling
You.
human being, and I can't even deal with how awesome your energy is. So shut up. You're amazing.
Thank you. No, you.
Oh my God. Ah.
We're
Um,
gonna have coffee, lots of coffee.
we totally are. Hey, I'm going to ask you one last question as we go out.
Yes.
Where do you go from here after Adelaide Fringe? What's next on the drawing board for Lindsey Kraft as an actor, artist, actress, everything? What's going on?
To be determined. I think there's so much to learn in these next couple of weeks, like performing, and this is where it's like really coming together. And we'll see maybe a workshop in New York. And so that's been sort of happening, but this has given me the opportunity to really find it. And maybe, who knows, like maybe somewhere, put it up somewhere in Sydney or Melbourne. Like I'd love to keep it still in Australia if possible.
Can you please
Love this place.
promise me that you come back to Adelaide every year and do the Adelaide Fringe because we need you.
Yes.
I, I want you to be a staple, baby.
I don't want to leave. I love it here so much. It's perfect.
Fabulous. Lindsey Kraft, everybody, please get onto the show. It's called Where, oh my God, my so tongue-tied right now.
You're tired.
Lindsey Kraft, everybody. We've been here before, and haven't we? Like, please, that's the truth. Lindsey, thank you for your time. Much
Thank you
love,
so
much
much.
respect, and I cannot
Thank
wait
you.
to see more of you at the Adelaide Fringe 2026.
Thank you. Peace.